Welcome to my channel, A Journey for Passion. I am your host, Tony, and I am very excited. Very first show. It's been a long time coming. Thank you all for holding in there. That's been with us from the beginning. Our first show is about growth with a good friend of mine, fellow entrepreneur, fellow broadcaster, Ricky Mitts. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you take something from it. I hope you learn something from it. We're going to be doing a live show from now on where people can call in, Zoom, the whole thing. Just want to thank you for showing up. And remember to like, share, subscribe, comment. Be good. We'll be good too. I love y'all. Thanks for showing up. Peace. Ladies and gentlemen, a good friend of mine, Ricky Mitts. Ricky.
What's up, bro?
What's good? What's good, bro? How you living?
I'm living, King. I'm living. How you living out there?
Good. Well, first of all, I want to thank you for your time coming on the show. And a little bit about us. We go back to a app where we started this broadcasting, right? Broadcasting?
Yeah.
And when me and Ricky were on there, back in that time, there's like 15, 20 people. You know, you could get on there anytime you wanted to, go live. Long story short, I heard Ricky, I heard his cast, and one of the things that really drew me to Ricky was he got along with everybody. It was like you could picture when you were listening to him. He's just walking along the street, talking to people, and I thought that was, I mean, everybody, you know. And that's just one of the things I loved about him. And I was there at his first broadcast, and glad to have him here. So how you doing, brother?
Man, first off, I want to say thank you for having me a part of your show. Thankful and happy that I'm here. And it's really no biggie, man. You been there since my first cast, man. So
Day one, huh?
Yeah, you day one, you know. So you was the reason why I got really into the whole DJ broadcasting thing and stuck with it, you know, to a degree.
Okay, so today on the first show, we're going to talk about growth. It was one of the things, the growth of this, how this show came to be. There was growth in this from a YouTube channel to what this is now. What we're attempting, what you're seeing now is pre-recorded. We're going to be doing a live stream, but the growth in that, you know, everything that led up to this point, there's so much to it. And I remember talking to Ricky about it when I took time away from Spoon to do this. He says, bro, it's going to be a long road. There's going to be a lot to it. And I thought, you know, I'm just so happy and everything. Yeah, I'm going to be able to do it. It's going to be great and everything else. And man, to this day, it's been the hardest, most strugglingest, greatest time of my life. Just finding me, what I can do and what I can't do that I will be doing soon. So you were sure right on that, brother. So growth.
Hey, man, growth,
what you got?
I mean, it's like when it comes down to it, you're gonna go through your growing pains, you know, but that's still just a metaphor. Growing pains is when you're going for something, you're gonna have your slips and falls. It's that not giving up is what gives you that growth, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Admitting when you need help, admitting when you messed up something, you know what I mean, so that way you can move forward. And that applies to business, that applies to just about anything in life, you know.
Right. I think the thing in it too with me was we don't really see the growth when you're in the middle of it, you know. It's you're just looking for the next thing that, you know, the problem that's in front of you at the time, which really is what you need to be doing anyway, right? You know, what's in front of you, tackle what you have to do. And there's just one thing after another. So you want to be a podcast guy. So you want to do this. it looks easy sitting here doing this, but I can tell you, if you had to invest in this and you didn't have a knowledge of everything that's involved with this, you know, hiring Uncle Day, the producer, that's the reason we're here today, or I'd still be talking about how this is going to start, because I would have had to learn everything. And the growth in it is led till now, you know, first show. So,
Yeah. And,
you know, and what you do, you know, where's your growth come in, and what's your take on that?
It's I had my times where I had to humble myself. You know, it's a lot of things God blessed me with to understand and figure out naturally, and I'm thankful and grateful for that. But there's also things that I'm not great at, you know. And it took for me to say, you know what, I just don't have enough time on my plate, you know, for me to invest in doing this right here. I just need to suck it up and just say, you know what, I need some help. You know, so that was a part of my growth. And when I did that, not only did the networking jump up, I learned as the person was working, I learned from them shortcuts and things like that. I actually grew better and faster and stronger. So yeah, that's my take on that right there. It's all a part of growth, you know, realizing sometimes that we might be going for something, but it's okay if we need help, humbling ourselves.
Right. And you know, in life too, you know, when you look at that and you get involved in one thing, right? That becomes everything. You got your, you know, like with me, I had my job, and all I could think about when I was on my job is, what am I going to be doing with the show? How am I going to, you know, how am I going to learn this? How am I going to do that? To here we are, first show, jitters, everything else. So trying to work out the audio problems we had earlier.
Yeah.
But I think that's, I mean, if it come out perfect, then it wouldn't be me, right? I mean, if everything was the way you wanted it to be and flashy and stuff, then I don't think it really hit until probably earlier this week when I said, you know, I had to look at it and say, you've gone as far as you can go with what you know right now. The rest of this is going to be growth. It's always going to be growth, right? You're going to want to do it better. You're going to have, you know, we're going to look at this first show and we're going to say, man, we should have done this. We should have done that, you know. And, you know, that the growth too, for me, really was bringing somebody else into it. I felt like I had this on my own. When I did the YouTube channel, it was just me and I'm talking to a camera. There's nothing. It's like, no, you know, so it's like, it just didn't really work for me. Then when Uncle Day came in, it was just like a whole different, I had to go through a process. I had to go through a growth process of, I need to let go, right? Because he's allowing me to do what I love to do, and he's taking over the technical edge of it. And it wasn't, trust me, it wasn't I had to control it, but I was so used to everything was controlled by me, so to where I couldn't enjoy what I was doing. It took away from, you know, doing what I wanted to do. So, you know, I think, and it's just opened up many more things in life too. It's made me look back at my everyday life, right? That's not the show, but it is my show. If I'm really being me and I'm contained with me, then that's a good thing, you know?
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, I look at, you know, you having your show this is like your business. And when you're an owner of something, it's different because you have to think about your show 24 hours. Just like if a person had a store, they had to think about their store 24 hours. What they have to restock up on. You know, do they need extra pennies? You know, is a coin shortage? There's so many things you have to think about when you're a business owner or when you're in a line of industry of any sort and you're the head figure. You know, so what you're going through is something totally natural. And it gets stressful. It goes through that. You know, you're trying to find time to, you know, have a relationship. You're trying to, it's having a business or having a music career is one of the hardest things you're ever going to do when you're trying to balance out anything else with that, period. It's not enough time in a day.
Right.
It's not enough time. And it's always new and fresh ideas popping up. And then it's always that, damn, do I have the capabilities making this happen? You know, and if I don't have the capabilities, how can I put across that energy, you know?
Yeah, I would say for me too, kind of the same thing. You know, you know me, so and people that know me locally, you know, they don't know me to the point that you do personally that way. But
Right.
when you own something, It's one thing to say you're going through everyday life, you do this, you do that, you don't agree with this, you don't agree with that. But when you truly have something you want to do and you're passionate about it, you got to stay to that. And I have literally, I'll tell you, my mindset at first was I'm going to listen to podcasts, right? And it's just talking. So that's where the whole live stream came in. And I was just going to do a podcast, much like we were doing on the old app, and just be audio. But I thought, what if what's going to draw somebody? Look at it. When I was a kid, I was so, worried about how am I going to, you just couldn't stand out. It wasn't allowed. It's just, and now that I'm passionate about, with the charities and what I want to do with this, that abundance that comes to me, that feeling, it's actually benefiting me for what I lack. There's, I guess, my take in it. You're going to have something that makes you feel good, and there's going to be some kind of ownership in, what you need to work on constantly. And I think the one of the big things for me was hearing somebody say, man, I really appreciate you just listening, right? So, I don't know how that with you. I don't know what you come up with on that and what you're doing.
Bro, like when I first heard that, it hit me different. Like when you told me how you felt about my streams, I didn't think I was doing anything significant. I was just trying to come up with a way to get my brand up and build myself up, because I used to do music with a lot of different people, and now that I'm not under certain contracts, I can be my own person. I can actually build my own brand up. So that's what I was going to come up on Spoon and do, is just promote my music. It went from that to me, openly expressing how I feel about certain things. And actually people listen and they agree. And I'm sitting here like, okay, well, apparently maybe I'm not crazy.
Right. Yeah, I think that feeds into it too, right? When you're doing something like that, and when people would say to me, man, hey, you're natural, you're this, and I don't hear that. And just like I was explaining you, and you just said to me, that's kind of the same thing you're feeling, right? When you're doing it. Am I being genuine? And am I being authentic in what I'm doing? I kind of take pride in I think the thing that worried me the most starting the channel was, what are people going to think? And now I want to know what you think, right? Mm-hmm. I want you to challenge yourself. I want you to look and say, if anything, even if you have a negative reaction to me, do it better. And I don't mean that in a condescending way. I mean, we're all different, right? We all bleed the same, but we're all different. So if you see something that maybe the concept of the show or just life's struggles, that's how this started, was through a life struggle. And I said, the only way I'm going to be able to do this is I can continue to not have boundaries, right? Be what everybody wants me to be. And I got tired of that. I got tired of a people pleaser, right? It's just easy to agree with somebody, even though I could be inadamantly against what they're saying. Now, if it's to that point, then it's an argument. But I mean, setting that boundary and having growing enough growth in saying, okay, look, I can't fault people if I'm presenting falsely to them, then what do I expect in return, right? Mm-hmm. They're not reading between the lines with me. So the only thing I could do is be me. I can apologize if I, offend somebody or, say something that's out. And I think when you start, that's part of growth, right? You start to get used to it. You think you're doing good, and there's that feel good thing to it. And you just and me, the mouth, right? But and I'm misunderstood, and then a lot of times people got me on point, but that's me. I can't stray from that. That's part of it.
I mean, all in all, me going into Spoon and me doing music and being around different people and dealing with different genres of music, I already walked into Spoon knowing that I'm not everybody's cup of tea. I speak about uncomfortable things. I talk about subjects people really don't want to talk about. But I feel about those things are the things that we need to address. So with that being said, it's like me worried about whether I'm authentic. You'll be able to tell in time because it's all audio. You can't fake who you are when you ain't got nobody looking at you because they're getting who you are.
One
They're
of the
getting
things,
who you are.
right, one of the things I liked about your cast was it allowed you, for me, the mindset I was in, not speaking out much, is I could like picture where you were at, right? I didn't have to see it, I could hear it. So it kind of took you away from anything that was around you. If you just listen to people, that's one of the things I loved. Your mental and then your emotional. The balance you had in that I thought was really cool.
Well, I appreciate that. I mean, for real, you were just going with me on my everyday life. You know, that's how my life is every single day. I go out, I go to the store, I run into someone, I try my best to exude, you know, the same thing I want for myself. I feel like, you know, when you're walking down the street, most people they're already arming themselves with what they may think that you are before they even get approached. So that old lady's already clutching her purse, you know. But if I walk up and I'm already feeling great and I show in my face that I'm feeling great, give you a smile, hey, how you doing? You know, that should disarm you. You should feel okay for the rest of the day, at
Right.
least for 15 or 5 minutes.
Yeah, you know, that comes down to ignorance.
Yeah.
You know, and I've heard you speak on that so many, and really we're all ignorant to something, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
we ignorant. I mean,
right.
we allow social media apps to become our real social lives. We're no longer connected humanly. We're connected through technology. You know, nobody's able to be held accountable or be able to grow because you can just easily walk away from someone and not be held accountable for things that you say or allow yourself to be told what's good for you in a constructive way or a negative way that you need to grow from, you know?
Right. So I want to ask you a couple questions while I got you here. You know, and a lot of these things I know, and then you always come up with something new, which I love that, man. You're growing. So how long have you had this desire to do what you're doing now? Because I know you started out, you talked about the beach, you did serve our country, right? Yeah. I want to thank you for that, which is one of the sponsors, not sponsors, I'm sorry, charities that I want to reach out to is the Wounded Warrior Project for the men and women to serve, and, you know, just helping them out with, be it educational, jobs, anything we can do to help. To me, that should be carte blanche. But that being said, when did this start out for you? And because you went from a clothing line to beats to music to, bro, it's crazy. It's one of the things I glean from you and I love about you is just not only the diversity.
I mean, for real, it started out with music. Music was always the platform, you know, and I always looked at having music as a platform puts you in the eyes and ears of so many people. Right. And it's things that need to be said. So even back then when I was a kid, I've been doing music since I was 7 years old, you know, I want to get to this platform and I want to be able to get my voice heard because it's things that people need to hear, not the propaganda. You know, as you learn and you grow, you experience certain things and media shades a lot of things, you know, but I know that if you get to the position where you can get a lot of listeners, you know, these things are the things that could get me there. Music, fashion, media. So that's what got me passionate into it. You know, just living life and seeing life for what it is.
So actually rapping then, kind of lyrically, not so much on the composing the music end, just the beats and then, you know.
Yeah, I do my rap thing, man. I've been taking a break from that. Though a lot of people waiting for me to drop a new album. I'll keep y'all updated.
Oh, we're gonna have it on here. You know that. I got the other one we got coming up too. Very intriguing guy, and I know you know him real well too. Is Mixed by Pages.
Yes,
I'm looking forward to that. That's
that boy go. That boy go.
He's something else. But back to you now.
Shout out to Pages.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to say shout out to that man.
Shout out.
It's a problem.
So one of the things that really intrigued me about you too is going further into my thing, and then, the whole followers thing, and then we had the Spoonchella, and me, you, Bodega.
Yeah, that was lit. That was lit.
But prior to that,
I'm sorry y'all couldn't be there, listeners. I'm sorry y'all couldn't be there, but that thing was so lit. It was lit.
that was really authentic, right? I thought that was really cool. Everybody's like, why? You got this opportunity. And I always told you guys from day one, right? I love y'all, man. Anywhere I'm going, you're going. We stick together. And the fact that you guys, I had people say to me, why don't you just do that on your own? This is your time to shine. If I ain't shining somebody else, man, who am I shining? It's taken me this long to accept me now. Why would I not, if I've got some ability to help somebody else, do that, right? And listening to you, there was so much growth in that, bro. You blew my mind and I don't want to go into the story unless you want to share that, but real quick, the legalities and the laws of the things you were dealing with, how you studied those laws, and bro, I mean, there's such a stereotype with everybody, right? But you got somebody that you're cooling with, you talking with, and cutting jokes and everything else, and now they literally get real smart on you. You know what I mean? They're just laying it down. And it just seemed like the one thing I got from you as a person was you took everything in your life that way, and I really respected that. You knew what you were going to talk about. You had it covered.
I mean, when it, for real, like, in order for people to survive in this land, you gotta know how to speak their talk. You have to. Some people don't want to learn for themselves. When you don't want to learn for yourself, you're putting your life in somebody else's hands. And then that's one of the biggest problems that I see that we have, and one of the problems that I had, is that when it boils down to it, I can complain about somebody at the corner store, but when's the chances of me actually going to own one of my own?
Right.
You get me?
Oh, I definitely, brother. That's one of the things I love about you.
So when it boils down to the last grains of salt, you can't blame anybody in your life for any action that you chose. You can't.
Absolutely.
I've never blamed. I grew up with neither one of my parents really in my life at all. Streets and my grandmother raised me. So I don't use the fact that my father wasn't there as an excuse for anything that I've done. I've done what I've done for survival purposes. Anything that anybody does, it's a reason behind it. It's if you care about the reason why. If you have empathy enough to understand why and try to push forward so that why can never happen again to anybody and shouldn't happen. And that's what the bottom line is. This isn't, for me, when I speak about things, I don't just speak about things from a black perspective, because I know that's what the system wants me to do. They want me to shade it, me more for blacks and me more for whites. This engine is against everybody.
Right, and you gotta that there is some of that just really plays into all of that, and then the separation of, okay, I'm not going to be put into that box because that's not me.
Right.
My life is not my color.
Right. And where I live doesn't define who I am, and that's something I tell anybody. Like, I got friends who will say, "Hey, man, like, they always trying to say that I'm a wigger, this, that, and the third, because I talk like this." I'm like, bro, you just be yourself. Why? Because you're a product of your environment. Right. This is where you survived that. This is where you had to learn how to talk and communicate with people. So you communicate in the way you're supposed to. Anybody.
Yeah.
If you were born in America and you were raised in England, you would have an English accent, more than likely, because you grew up around that.
You want to do that real quick? You think I popped that on you? Come pop that on me. Here we go now.
Yeah, you popped that up there.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have an English actor, Simon. What's his name? What's his last name, Uncle Day? Do you remember?
Oh, man.
Really popular actor in England. Simon, you there?
Hello there, Mike.
How you doing today?
Man, blimey, it's blatant hot out here. I'm trying to get myself a fire, and I don't understand who this woman is that keeps looking at the color of my knickers.
Okay, I got another guest on here today. His name is Two Strands. We've got a lot of characters on here, people that you are gonna meet.
Hey, look,
Two Strands.
Two Strands.
Two Strands. You there?
Hey,
Two Strands. I want you to explain the difference of life here in the United States to this English guy. What is, and then, you know, Simon, you come back and you chime with him and tell him what it's all about. Go on now.
I think a conversation between them two would probably be something like,
What the hell is tea? It's just swamp water you put sugar in. You sit here, your teeth look like monkey pamper. Just all spread across your gums, and you trying to judge me because I'm country and tell me I don't speak good English.
Well, sir, I do enjoy my tea. And would like to understand your corn liquor. That's mouthwash, for God's sake.
honestly speaking, that would probably be like one of the weirdest, funniest conversations to ever witness in life, man. See, that's something I have to put together and send to you.
Yeah, there's real quick, there's a little story with that. When I had some issues on the Spoon app where I got booted for a week. I was a bad boy. And I get this call. Now, this is real life stuff here, people. I get this call. And this is how I met Two Strands. I'm pissed. I'm like, man, I can't. I've been set up and these people. And I could go in there incognito without my name. And I didn't even show up in Ricky's stream. And I call him on his phone while he's doing the stream. And he's like, oh, what? To the point that every stream after that, he would say, shout out to the people I can see that's in the room and the ones that I can't see, because I could hear all the conversation and everything. Now I'm upset at work, and I get a phone call, and I hear this. Two Strands, right? I'm like, who the hell is this, right?
Hey, do you still have it on your phone?
No, I'm going to look. I'm sure it's somewhere on one of those files. And then Bodega. Hey, hey, man, that's bullshit. I can't believe they did that. And then Two Strand, I'm like, who the hell is this guy? Right? I never heard that. I never heard that voice, bro. And it really was like, President Clinton meets, I wouldn't even know, but it was more like Clinton at the time. You owe me some money for this and that. I'm like, who the hell is this? And you got a cell phone, you talk to somebody all the time, you don't memorize the number, right? So I didn't even put two and two together, all emotional and upset. And I'm like, who the? Crazy, man.
Hey, bro, try to remember how it went. I said, is this Wild Heart?
That's why I should have known right there, because nobody else called me wild. That's where I should have known. I'm an idiot.
I said, is this Wild Heart? Hey, look, I need to get my money back. I came and I got 2 strippers for you. I ordered 2 strippers. You sent me 1.5. I got a midget. And then I can't find my EBIT card. My EBIT card is missing out. I want more money, and I don't know how you're going to get it to me. It's going to be top or bottom, but I want it.
It was
It was crazy, yeah. And I'm like,
it was funny as hell.
And you'd think I would have known when you said wild, because you did say Wild Heart, but then maybe I thought in my head, because there's times when I really think I'm smart about something, right? When I'm in my emotional shit, and I'm like, okay, it could be somebody else on Spoon. Somebody's messing with me. So, yeah, that's funny. But I have 2 questions I want to ask you to sum this up, and I can't tell you. I'm looking forward to more of this stuff later, and things you're going to be doing. I just know we got a whole wide world here with you, brother, and I appreciate that, man. You're part of my walk with that, so know that. So that being said, what are you failing at right now? I'm just going to give you one question. What are you failing at? Are you failing at anything?
Yes, I am, bro. I'm failing at fatherhood, bro. I'm doing the best I can. I'm winging it. but I'm doing the best I can. But I know, like, I feel like I could be doing more, man. You know what I mean?
As
And
far
I feel
as
like I don't know, like. It's like I got a 13-year-old, man, and she's hitting that age where it's like hard to communicate with her, you know. Then I got my 9-year-old, you know what I mean? She's stepping into her little processes and stuff, you know. It's kind of like your kids have their own personalities, you know, and they're gonna grow from being these little loving kids to kids with their own feelings and their own thoughts about things, and you know, it's so many dynamics to it, and it's like, you know, trying to find that balance and being the dad that's there and is opening, but also being the dad that's not just looked at as, okay, this is turn up dad, you know. It's a hard balance. So yeah, I'm kind of failing at that because I spoiled the hell out of my girls, bro.
so. Yeah, and on a serious tip about that now, you know, I was a father, right? And you got no, I don't want to say too much, but I had no idea what being a father was. You know, there's no book to it, right? I mean, you could always look back at that and say, I could have done this, I could have done that. I could wholeheartedly say, though, at that time, as a father, I did the best that I could with what I had and what I could do. If there was lack, it was due to my lack, okay? It was, you know, in here or not knowing or for fear of, the attempt of this or that would be, you know, worse than, how I felt about that. Being a father is tough, man. It's tough.
Man, it's hurtful, bro, because it's like, it's different, man. Like, it's different when your kid's mad at you. You feel what I'm saying? That shit hit different. It's a big difference from somebody on the street versus your kid being mad at you about something. And with them being girls, girls don't really talk about how they feel like that, you know? So it's like, damn, bro, I'm failing.
Oh yeah,
but I'm making steps and processes to try to figure out how to bridge that gap, you know? And I'm open for suggestion on that shit because you got gray hair. You did this shit for a minute. Uncle Day, I know he knows something.
Oh,
and look, Uncle Day, I'm gonna tell you, my face been balled up, man. I know they can't see you, but I can see you, and my heart go out to you because every time you rub your stomach, I think about mine. So I know my face been balled up like a cat butthole. You know, at times. Not that I'm not enjoying the conversations that I can't unsee you, bro. No, I want you to get up. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, I'll tell you what, I love him. This is my man too. You know, he's a good man. You know, we wouldn't be doing what we're doing here today. That's all part of it. So, you know, and I shared that story, and there's going to be, we got so many things going on. We've got more material than we know how to put out right now, right? I mean, we got so many things that you know, just tangents that you would go on and thoughts and ideas. And just to sum up what the show's about real quick is to encourage, to empower people to be the best them, right? Be passionate about who you are. Be true to you. If you have something you love to do and you're doing it and pursuing it, I believe everything else in life is going to come to you. If that's truly in your heart, the rest is going to fall into place, because if that is so big, then the money, the time, it means nothing if it's in here and in here all the time. So I believe that'll come to you. So that's what the show's about. We're going to be showcasing young kids that are talented. I want to do that. I want kids that, instead of them being on the street, man, or reading an obituary, have them on here playing piano or something. Encourage them, right? Because, you know, I read it somewhere, I heard it somewhere, it says, you know, raising kids, when you talk about fatherhood, is, you know, you have that whole mindset of, I'm going to give them everything I had that I didn't have. And really, that's not a good thing either. So you're, no matter what you do, it's never good enough because it's your kids, right? It's near and dear to you. But that being said, there's that strict part, and that, you know, your kid doesn't stop loving you when you don't support them. They quit loving them, is my experience. And been one of my biggest struggles, you know, that I'm continuing to just working, growth, things I got to do, you know. But right now I'm doing this, but I love my kids, all three of them. My grandbaby too.
Bruh, when I tell you, like, the hardest part for being a father for me is when you have something and I'm trying to be based off self-success. That acronym for me is BOSS. For me to call myself a boss, I have to be based off self-success. I have to invest in myself. So there's times when my babies will want something and I'm like, damn, I gotta make this shake. This is not gonna work, you know? So I have to tell my babies no, and it hurts to tell them no, you know? But one thing I could say I love about my kids is that you can tell a child no, and they'll be okay. But if you tell an adult no, it'll be out your face.
Oh, yeah.
So a child's love is eternal. It's just, like I said, they're human too. You know, they're kids, but they still have their own thoughts. They still have their own emotions. You know, there might be stuff going on it. We always tell the kids to stay in the child's place. So it's not like they can erase how they feel about whatever situation. You know?
Right. Well, their
And I don't know
dynamic
what's
is a
going
life
on
without fear because they don't know. And
right.
as an adult, you look at that and say, why do I fear this, right? Because I got a job, I got this, I got to feel the fear and do it anyway, you know, and children aren't born with fear, you know, it's in here. So.
Yeah. It's a big world. When you don't understand, you fear it, you know? Kids don't understand a lot. They see a lot, but don't mean that they understand what they're seeing. They're just used to seeing. They come triggered to that, you know? So when the real situation happens, they don't know how to handle that, you know?
Right, you can't explain a way of life, right? You can't explain. I'm just saying because they got to go do it.
Right. That's that 1% chance. We all done did it. Parents done told us, hey, don't go out here and do this. Don't go out there and do that. And we'll turn around and take that 1% chance. Think it's going to work for us. I'm sorry. Don't put me on the my ass. You know? I'm sorry. I won't do it again. Trust me, I learned my lesson. But yeah.
Well, brother, I got to tell you, man, I'm hoping you're going to come back. You know, this first show, we're trying to work this out. I appreciate you being here. Anything I can do for you now? Anything, you know?
Hey, bro,
shout out to...
You did everything. You done made my day, bro. You made me part of what you're doing, and it looks good. It looks good. Like
Does it look good? You know, I was wondering. I mean, you like the set and everything? They're not showing Dave shirtless, are they? He'll take all the women. I'm telling you. He does it every time.
And I'm telling you, man. Hey, look, Uncle Dave on the side. Down coming to the stage today.
Let's give Dave a shout out, man. Uncle Dave. Thank you for putting this together, man.
Thanks, guys. Don't leave me alone.
Hey, man. Yo, Uncle Dave's the GOAT, man. He's not feeling well, but he's trooping it out, man.
And we were supposed to be having sound effects and everything else, but thanks, Uncle Dave. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. This show will get better. I promise.
There's been some sound effects.
Right. That means he's got to go because he's, First Nations are. They let them play. All right, man. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here, letting me and my friend here and Uncle Dave share our hearts. I hope that you will come back. You got something you're passionate about? You need to voice it? This is your place. All are welcome at this table. You cannot be great to start. You must start to be great. And great we will be if we encourage one another. Maddie Ray, I love you. Show number 1. That money coming from their charities. I love you all. Thank you for taking the time with us. Peace.